Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 16 and text number 22. The divine and demoniac nature. Etaihi vimuktaha kaunteya tamodvaraihi tribhihi naraha acharati atmanaha shreyah tatah yati param gatim etair vimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistribhirnaraha आचरात्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचर्यत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचर्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम्
एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेया तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरति आत्मना श्रेयः ततो याति परं गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेया तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरत्यात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम् एतैर्विमुक्ता कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचरात्मनः श्रेयः ततो याति परां गतिम्
Etaihi, from these, vimuktaha, being liberated, kaunteya, O son of Kuntī, tamahadvaraihi, from the gates of ignorance, tribhihi, of the three kinds, naraha, a person, acharati, performs, atmanaha, for the self, Sreyaha, benediction. Tataha, thereafter. Yati, he goes. Param, to the Supreme. Gatim, destination. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kuntī, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. One should be very careful of these three enemies to the human life: lust, anger and greed. The more a person is freed from lust, anger and greed, the more his existence becomes pure. Then he can follow the rules and regulations enjoined in the Vedic literature. By following the regulative principles of human life, one gradually raises himself to the platform of spiritual realization. If one is so fortunate, by such practice, to rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness, then success is guaranteed from him. In the Vedic literature, the ways of action and reactions are prescribed to enable one to come to the stage of purification. The whole method is based on giving up lust, greed and anger. By cultivating knowledge of this process, one can be elevated to the highest position of self-realization. This self-realization is perfected in devotional service. In that devotional service, the liberation of the conditioned soul is guaranteed. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, there are instituted the 4 orders of life and 4 statuses of life called the caste systems and the spiritual order system. There are different rules and regulations for different castes of divisions of society, and if a person is able to follow them, he will be automatically raised to the highest platform of spiritual realization. Then he can have liberation without a doubt. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militanjena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastade Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Shri Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Eitair Vimuktah Kaunteya Tamodvari Stribirnavaihi Acharyatyatnahat Shreyas Tato Yati Parangatim. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, O son of Kuntī, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. Many a times we wonder that we are told to perform direct devotional service by which we can transcend the 3 modes of material nature that keeps us entangled in the materialistic activities, whether they may be of such demoniac nature too. But we do not practically realize the immediate effect, even though the activities are of transcendence. Because proper purification is not set in. The reason being, we are still harboring those anarthas which are of this three particular nature. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. So, these activities which are non-conducive, they are not allowing, they are hampering. These activities must be forbidden. Even many a times we try to say that men of knowledge can be dragged into such thing. We were just talking of power struggle. It's going on. The power corrupts person. It corrupts the person. Profit and adoration, distinction, these are all subtly harbored desire which are actually supported by these three gates. They are keeping the gates open, the gates to the hell open, and yet try to perform the devotional process. Devotional process is no doubt transcendental in nature, but because it will take time. Prabhupada says that we are just simply plucking out the plug. The fan still goes on. Means we have to wait for purification. Then and then the devotional service can be conducive for liberation. Why we are not able to do it instantaneously? Because everybody is not having that realized knowledge in front. Knowledge and the realization becomes a concomitant factor in devotional service. It becomes a concomitant factor. It means, Bhagavatam says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojatya Janatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Chad Ahitkam. That causeless knowledge and detachment will be generated by performance of devotional service. Because devotional service is independent. We are very much conditioned. Now we are told to perform transcendental activity. The transcendental activity we are performing, but we are not finding any tangible result because of our habituation. Our habituation with the three modes of material. The stronger attachment to the modes, stronger the demoniac activity. Therefore, we have to wait till causeless mercy showers upon us, by which a click can come and we start discriminating. Means we use the intelligence that discerns what is the real and what is temporal. Krishna says that in second chapter. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate asat, ubhayorapi drashta. Anta tattvadarshibi. Tattvadarshibi means those who are realized in tattva. Means the absolute truth is being realized, and they keep on using their intelligence to discern what is permanent and what is temporary, and they try to stick with firm determination to the transcendental process, whether they get troubled or not. Everybody is a devotee, but everybody may not be realized. But realization is on the way. So the process is absolute. Process of devotional service is absolute. There is no doubt about it. But at what extent one is willing to accept the purification, how much fast he wants to do. How can one do? Unless one becomes tolerant of all the inconveniences. Simultaneous development. And Srila Prabhupada is insisting on this. If you love me, your love will be counted on how much cooperation you are doing. Right? So, despite of our personal failures or personal type of disappointments and other things, but if we are tolerant of all these inconveniences, our development in this discriminating intelligence will become faster. And simultaneous realization will ensue with progress. So, it's always advised that we have to become free from these three gates, escape them somehow or another. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamata kama krodhas tatha lobha. Kama, krodha and lobha. Desire for sense gratification, kama. Because it is not going to be satiated, it will turn into wrath, krodha. But because our discriminating intelligence is not awakened, we will hanker for it more and more, so lobha. Our life is like a compulsive gambler in the event when we are not awakened in the discriminating intelligence. In Sanskrit it is called vivek. Vivek buddhi. If vivek is not developed, what is vivek? Pandita samadarshina. Vidya vinaya sampanne. Vinaya and vivek are same. Vidya vinaya. Knowledge, but with discriminating intelligence. Knowledge of what? What is Shreya and what is prayer? I will support the Shreya. Even though prayer is very alluring, attracting, but because it is going to give me a short-term benefit, I don't want it. A gambler is looking for very, very quick result, and he's so much impatient he loses all his composure of intelligence that even though he is losing, he wants to play double. A thief, compulsive thief. Compulsion. A thief knows that I'm going to be punished if I'm caught. But still, he will not give up his habit of stealing. So, we have to escape these three gates of hell. It creates nothing but hell. Hell means pain, discomfort, everything. As far as Rajogun or these sense gratification is concerned, Krishna tells bluntly that these sensations are emerging from the contact of the senses. And those who are intelligent do not dwell into them. He says that. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunte nate ramateshu buddha. This so-called the lusty desires that are coming or they are generated through the sense of touch. All our five senses work on the basis of coming to their object by touch. The eyes, the vision is touching the object of sense gratification and we develop lust. Hearing beautiful sound, simply hearing develops lust. What to speak of touch? So, all this sense perception is coming into existence by the contact. Actually, this contact is not with the matter, because matter is also made up of the modes of material nature. They are coming into contact with those modes. We think we are the enjoyer, and we end up bringing our senses in contact with the modes of material nature, and we think different effects are happening, which I like, which I don't like. Purusha prakriti sthopi bhunte prakriti janmona. We are simply experiencing the effects of the modes of material nature. We are not getting any pleasure. So everything is cheating. We think we are going to enjoy this nice cold water. I am feeling hot. I am coming in touch, contact with, but actually my senses are coming in contact with those modes that make it cold. So, where is my enjoyment? So Purusha means the enjoyer thinks that he is enjoying, but he is not enjoying. He is simply coming in contact with the modes of material nature. And he actually experiences those modes. He doesn't experience the enjoyment of the object. He experiences only the modes. So, Purushaha prakriti sthopi bhunte prakriti jangona. Karanam gunasangasya. The cause is the association of that three modes that will bring him repeatedly into different bodily conception. Sad asad yonishu. Sad yoni, demigods. Asad yoni, demoniac. The demoniac thus resorts to the more intricate nature of kama, krodha, lobha, and where it will put them more and more into the ignorant nature of kshipami asajram asurim yoni mapannam mudha janmani janmani. They are casted into the hellish condition life after life. This is mudha. While an intelligent person thinks, it's my senses, not me. They are simply the interactions of the modes of material nature. I have nothing to do with it. So they try to withdraw, keep away from those contexts. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate. They are simply nothing but breeding grounds to the miserable condition of life. These so-called objects of sense gratification which are born out of the contact of the senses Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate. Dukkhayoni means the breeding ground. It's a big womb that generates nothing but miseries. Adyantavanta kaunte nate ramate shubhuta. And not only that, they are not permanent. They come and go. They will cheat you. Fleeting pleasures. So, those who are intelligent, natera mateshu, they do not dwell, they do not indulge in those objects of sense gratification. So, how to act? Acharyatmanaha shreyas tato yati paramati. We have to act acharya for Shreya, not for Priya. For the purpose of Shreya, you must take the help of a Guru. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyate Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. For that reason. For which reason? For the reason of ultimate benefit. Not miserly dwelling into sense gratification. Never approach a guru for fulfilling your material desires. They are temporary, they are prayers. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyate. For that reason, Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. So, Shreya means ultimate benefit, and it can only be derived through that discriminating intelligence called Vivek. Vivek is the intelligence that defines and then seeks for what is Sat, what is Asat. And he always in favor of Sat, never in favor of Asat. No temper. He reduces all this entangling activities because they are temporary. Rather, he wants to set in for permanent, eternal activity of the soul. So, only those person yati param gatim achieves the supreme destination. Destination or the station. Those who are not looking for Shreya cannot achieve the supreme destination. You check it out, all the other religious systems are based upon prayer or Shreya. If you want to check a religious system, what do they offer? Prayer or Shreya? On that basis, we can estimate the bona fides of it. There are so many pseudo-religions because they are based on prayer, immediate benefit. I'll make you God overnight. Give me 10 rupee bill, I will return 1,000 rupee bill. And there are a lot of people. Cheaters are there, and people in multitude who are being cheated, they are also there. Because Krishna fulfills everyone's desires. Nobody else is going to fulfill his own desires independently. Krishna makes arrangement for them. But they will go to the darkest region of the hellish condition, because they will be immediately captured by these 3 gates, and they will be filtered out in there. Kama, Krodha and Lobha. So we see Prabhupada is telling the whole method is based on giving up lust, greed and anger. By cultivating knowledge of this process, one can be elevated to the highest position of self-realization. So the process is perfect, and it depends upon us how much we are performing. Prabhupada said so many times, I may not be perfect, but the process I follow is perfect. So on the strength of the perfection of this process of Krishna consciousness, everything generates. The purification comes. Not only that, but the knowledge and detachment also comes. We have to wait. But if we use our intelligence and guided by Krishna consciousness and we realize, then the process will become faster. So, Prabhupada said that it may take many, many lifetimes to get purified. But if you desire so, you can do within this lifetime. So it depends upon us. Prabhupada then gives the idea that the performance of devotional service and the liberation of the conditioned soul is guaranteed. Devotional service is an eternal process where by performing it, at least liberation is guaranteed. Haridas Thakur is telling that even chanted once the holy name can liberate. At least it will open the path of liberation. Even by cultivating a desire to associate and listen, the glorification of the Lord can open the gate to the liberation. Satam prasangam mama virya sambandha bhavanti rat karna rasayana tad joshanam apavarga vartamani. Apavarga means the path of liberation is opened immediately. You don't have to wait. If you want, jump out the window. So, liberation is not a big deal. But because of our anarthas, which are, wrapped up in a nice package of lusty desires, anger and greed, it will make us wait for liberation, wait for the mercy. Then Prabhupada tells that the whole process was thus designed in the human society in 4 varnas and 4 ashrams for that purpose. That the Vedas are supposed to be kalpatarus, wish-fulfilling desire trees. In Vedic knowledge, all different kinds of mentality, all living entities can fulfill their desires. And there are guidelines. So simultaneously, fulfilling the desires and coming to this point of pure devotional service gradually. This is the aim of the Vedic literature. So the ultimate purpose of these guidelines is also to come to the point of devotional service and nothing else. So 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. If one performs the prescribed activities in those confinement of classification, then if his aim is simply to please Vishnu, that is as good as devotional service. Atah pumbi dvijasreshta varnashama vibhagasha Svanatishtasya dharmasya samsiddhim haritoshanam. Haritoshanam. We are advised in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is telling straightforward only pure devotional service is the religion, the best occupation for all the humanity to serve the transcendental Lord. Atah Pambi Dvijasreshta. In the very first verse, Vyasadeva is describing that Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshaja. The best occupation, the ultimate occupation for the whole humanity is to please the transcendental Lord, Adoksha, by which ahaituki apratihata, performance of unmotivated and uncontaminated devotional service, uninterrupted devotional service, by which the self will be satisfied, the Supreme will be pleased. If Supreme is not pleased, the self will not be pleased. If Supreme is not pleased, we cannot be pleased. We are under miseries, but our lust and anger and greed will make us think that we are better off. But that is illusion. If we are torturing the super soul within our own heart, how can there be a peace within us? If we are keeping distance with our own Paramatma sitting in our own heart and neglecting Him, how much neglected we will be. Prahlad Maharaj tells that, my dear Lord Nrsingadev, if somebody neglects you, you neglect them. Upekshita. Whether in such situation a patient will die in front of a doctor, or a son may die in front of his father. Just like that. If somebody neglects you, you neglect them. So, by coming in Krishna consciousness, we are not neglected. We have to rest assured. But our anarthas of kama, krodha and lobha, they will always keep us a little bit agitated, unhappy, not nicely situated. Oh, I don't have this one. Because these are anarthas. You want to be reasonable. Oh, but my superior is not reasonable. We try to not to tolerate the inconveniences. Toleration of inconveniences will not make my super soul unhappy. Rather, that becomes a virtue, and it helps to promote us towards self-realization. Titiksha. Titiksha means tolerance of such, voluntary tolerance of such inconveniences becomes the real austerity that helps devotional service. So, the idea is that devotional service is the process. In any situation, one must come either directly to devotional service or gradually through the Vedic injunctions or directions. Come to, but ultimately is devotional service and nothing else. So, anybody has any question?
You spoke in lecture, it said in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna that soul is affected by the modes of nature. But in another place, Krishna says that it is not affected by the modes of nature.
Soul is affected?
Yes, by the modes of nature.
Where? In which context is it?
In 13th chapter.
13th chapter.
Yes, 24. Which chapter?
13:24?
No. 22.
22.
Enjoying the modes of the three modes of nature. Enjoying.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. Enjoys means he is under illusion. He thinks he is enjoying the object, but actually he is in contact with the modes. Modes are making him think like that he is enjoying. This is due to the association with that material nature. Right? Thus, he meets with good and evil among the various species. It means he thinks he is made up of those modes. If he is attracted by the modes, he takes the nature of the modes. The soul has a spiritual nature. It's a Satchidanand. But the modes of material nature overwhelms it because he is coming in contact. And these modes are powerful, they overcome. Now see, when the creation is taking place, Mahavishnu's spiritual glance comes in contact with the inert ingredients of material nature. They are not manifested. But actually, there is no contact. Because transcendental nature cannot touch the material nature. It's transcendental. It's beyond. But yet it is said that by its influence, material nature becomes impregnated with multitude of universes. Here, the material nature is in touch with that spirit soul, the transcendent, but it is very insignificant. But he overwhelms. So, it makes the living entity think that he is made up of material nature. The Supreme Lord, whose glance is identical with him, is never changed, never under illusion. It never comes under any effect. Rather, its presence make the material nature create. It does not take part in any activity. Simply its presence. They said the transcendental glance falls on the supreme, on the material nature. Sa ikshati sa iman asrujat. Simply, he glances over and material nature starts creating. This is an opposite thing because we are infinitesimal. We think we are enjoying, but it's illusion. The result is opposite. The result is opposite. So it is not actually it's coming in, or it is changing, or it is feeling pleasure, that is illusory pleasure. It is not actual. There is, for soul, nothing has to, there is no activity except serving the Supreme, not material nature, inferior nature. That is not his activity. But he thinks. So Krishna, he's speaking like this, that the living entity in the material nature thus follows the ways of life, ways of material life, enjoying the three modes of material nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Right? The soul is unaffected by its inner position, but it starts thinking other way around.
And this is why I think there is God marginal energy also.
Yes.
That we can go even.
Yeah, but it is not changing its constitution.
Right. Constitutionally we are part and parcel.
Yes. It can never change its constitution. It remains as it is. But he is getting a false impression that he is enjoying or he is in pain. He wants to enjoy, but actually nothing works according to him because he is already overwhelmed by the inferior energy called Maya. He is defeated from the very beginning. So those who are defeated, everything is painful. However, they will try to fulfill their desire, but they will all end up in frustration. Krishna will provide everything to fulfill the desire. But he will not be satisfied. Everything will be frustrating. Many times the devotees are told, oh, just be satisfied. Whatever Krishna has given you, it's enough. Don't try to hanker. Don't get more. Otherwise you will be more entrapped. But the person who is having also minimal thing, he is being troubled. Kolavecha Sridhar. How much trouble he has to get. But because he is realized soul, he was firm in his vow to worship Mother Ganges with 50% of his income, whether it are 2 paise. That's enough. So, this virtue of tolerance, titiksha, is so much important to become oblivious to the effect of the modes of material nature. The soul becomes thus free. Free from illusion. That is called liberation. It is a temporary state. Prabhupada is saying just like dream. Suppose if you are dreaming, right? Your soul is getting affected, right? But as soon as the dream is over, you are a normal person again. So what is our real normal status? Jivera swarupoher Krishnera nityadas. Krishnera tatastha shakti bheda abheda prakash. This is our constitutional position and service. Nityadas. Then we are all right. If we give up service to Krishna, then we will end up serving Maya, come under her influence. Those who are resorting to the material life, they are called duratmas. And those who are resorting to the divine energy of the Lord and rest depend upon, they are called mahatmas. And demoniac nature means duratmas. The soul has nothing to do. It's in a wrong place. This is not his original body. So he is in a wrong place. It's all temporary, illusory aspect of existence in the material life. Soul's original occupation is to serve the Supreme. There is no contradiction here. The soul's feeling of pleasure and pain is illusion.
So, in other words, Maharaj, should we understand that being marginal potency of Supreme God, we are the guilty ones. Mind is confusing us through three modes of material nature. And only salvation we have to get our mind free. One is to beat it up every morning.
That's correct.
And second one is to continue devotional service.
But because we have ill-trained mind since time immemorial, but the process is very powerful that if we are really serious, it will help us to cross over within this lifetime. Otherwise, we'll take many. We have chance to beat up our mind only in this lifetime. Next time probably it will escape more, or who knows. Well, better beat as much as you can. Huh?
What does it mean to beat mind?
Do whatever in your power to smash it. Use anything. Threaten him, tempt him, please don't do this. Or, become angry with it. But we have to remove the devil from our mind. Right? All these demoniac desires can be removed if we pray to Lord Nrsingadev. If you beat up the mind every day, you will get fearlessness. Beat up. Beat them up. You will become fearless. That is the benediction of Nrsingadev. That is the way to become successful in this hard struggle of existence. Whatever is happening around us, by our mistake or somebody's mistake or some treacherous, intrigue, let it happen. But because if the mind is well beaten up, they are not going to do anything. They will not disturb. Once we have beaten up our mind nicely, pulverize it.
And Bhakti Saraswati Maharaj did say that every morning a true sadhak should beat his mind with 100 jutas, 100 shoes. Beat, listen, I want to pray to Krishna, I am his servant. Don't look for all these greed and anger and lust. And this is what beating, I think, means. Repent.
Don't beat your head, you have to beat your mind. Your head is not mind. So, whichever way you can reach it,
Yes.
become introspective and address it. You can shout at it. Beating means use anything in your power, so it will be tamed. By beating, yes, everything is beating. Nobody can tame others' mind except ghosts. A ghost can take over a weak mind, become possessed, right? Make it possessed. As long as we are sane, keep on beating. Withdraw. The process of beating starts from Krishna's instruction. Shanaihi, Shanaihi. Gradually. Wherever the mind is goes, just pull it back from there. And become always alert. Whenever it is escaping, bring it back. Bring it back. Otherwise, it's difficult. If we become complacent to allow it to escape, then we will have to work harder to get it back. Is it not? Suppose if you want to catch your pet monkey, but the monkey has habit to go away. But if you become slave, okay, come, it won't come, but it will run away farther. So you have to run farther more behind it. So, rather, as soon as it gets, go after it. So you become more and more awake, alert. You know that it is going to escape. So remain alert. That is called conscious. Consciousness means always remain alert, awake. Why? Because you are chokidar of your mind. Control it. Krishna answers this beautifully in Manaha Chanchalam Krishna Pramati Bhagavad Dranam. What is that verse? Chanchalam hi Krishna Pramati Bhagavad Dranam. Tasyam nigraham vayoriva shudushkaram. Huh?
35.
10:30?
6:30.
6:30. Okay. Okay. So, in response to that, wait a minute.
Chanchalam Kimana Krishna is 6:34. Yes, 634.
Yeah, that I saw that.
Page 304.
Solution is given at 635.
Yes. This is in God. Present to quality variety to read.
Purvabhyas yogena.
Let's say yoga. See the 8 yoga.
Shanaihi shanaihi upadpretataya buddhaya grihitaya. Where is that verse?
6th chapter, 25th shloka. 6:25.
25?
Yes, 25.
Okay. Alright, 25. Shanaihi rupat medat buddhaya dhriti grihitaya atma samstham manah kritva na kaschidapi chintayet. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in the trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. So, use this technique when it escapes. Fix it and gradually pull it back. Yato yato nischalati mana chanchara sthiram tatastato niyamya tadatmaini vasham net. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Is it not? So this is the meeting process. Really, you have to be after it. Time up. Okay. Jai Jagat Krishna Prabhupada ki.
Jai.